Good morning, Morgan, and good morning to any of Morgan's friends that have joined us for today's video. And in today's video, we're actually going to be mucking about with DOS commands, which is to say, interacting with the operating system, because the operating system was written a very long time ago, and it uses DOS to this day. And we were going to find that it's useful. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to bother doing any reading because there's really not a lot of reading to do here. Okay. And then we'll go and look at some of the code and the output, and we'll talk about this some more. All right. Okay. So to interact or interface with the operating system, and that's what we're talking about, operating system interface, we of course load those bits of Python code from the Python library set aside specifically for interacting with the operating system, which of course is called OS. And the OS has a number of methods there, or functions, and we're only going to talk about some of the more useful ones. Okay, like this one, which gets the current directory that you're working in. Okay, and what's important about that is if you're trying to work with other files, flat files, that sort of thing, you're going to need them to be in the directory that you're in. What do I mean by directory? We'll talk about that more later. All right, and then once you know that, then you can change the directory maybe to where the file is that you need, and we're going to see that not in this video but in the next one. And then I'm not sure what this command does. Okay, but it's wants to know the system, and what the marked directory of today is, I don't know. Okay, but it doesn't sound very useful to me. And then this one lists all the different module functions in the OS library. Ooh, that's useful. And by the way, this directory command will work with any wait a second, I might be wrong about that. But the bottom line is you should be able to put in any library into this directory command. I'm guessing that once you've imported it, and you'll have to have the OS too so you can get the directory, and you'll have a printout, and then there's this help. Oh my God. I actually commented out this statement because it just fills up the whole page, and it's just a list of all the different help modules that there are available to you. And then this last little bit all has to do with databases, and we're not going to be working with databases for a while, and so you don't need to know that. Let's keep things simple for now. All right, so here we go. The get the current directory command, you're going to want to do that. And how to change the directory, who cares about the system? I mean, I'm sure it's there for a reason. This is kind of helpful in finding out just exactly what kind of modules you're working with to see what's available. Well, you know, it's nice to know what kind of tools you have in the toolbox. And then help. Okay? All right. And with that, let's go on over. And here we have the code. I'm just going to parse through it slowly. And by the way, send me an email and I'll send you a copy of the code. Right? And I took this right out of the manual. Okay. Put in some print statements so we can see what actually happens. Notice that I had to put an R here for the change directory, because if you don't, it doesn't know that it's ASCII data for some reason, and it blows up. right? So don't forget the R. I put in the R. They don't have the R in the thing, all right? Example 2, notice I commented out the print, the help statement because it's obnoxious. And I just went ahead and just put in the import for the DBA utility or database utility just to make sure that we had it. But if you try and run these copy file and move commands, because I don't have a database on this PC, it blows up. Okay. All right. So we're not going to look at that. All right. But man, the next video we're going to actually use this a little bit more, and so I'm thinking you'll have a better idea how useful this stuff is. Anyway, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the output and see what we got going on over there. And here we are in the output. All right. And when we wanted to see what the current directory we're in, well, sure enough, here comes the path. That's what they're talking about. When they want to know the directory, another way of calling it is what's the path to your current location on the machine, in the machine's file system. You go C, users, John's, blah, 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 and this is the folder we're in. Okay. Then I changed the file path to one that's on the machine where I am using, it's a folder I'm using to store stuff that I'm going to use in these programs later on, but I'm not using it right now. And then I just printed it to make sure that it did in fact take. Then in example 2, here are all the different methods or functions available to you in the OS library. Ooh, isn't that nice? I don't know what most of this stuff does, but man, I'm sure it does lots of useful stuff. Ooh, there's one called path. That looks good. Kill. Oh, ooh, that looks dangerous. Open. That's going to be needed. Read. Remove. These names should be somewhat descriptive of what the method does or function does. Access. Ooh. Abort. And then, of course, in example 3, there's no print statements in there. I've canceled out the commands. The only thing in there that is actually running is the import for the database utility library. And with that, this video is over. You guys behave. Try not to kill yourself on those one-wheelers. I hear they're dangerous. All right, and with that, we'll see you in the next video.